Welcome back to Not Real Fishing, everybody, and today we are in my mom's van because I got a flat tire. But we are going to be going to the spot where we were gonna fish last time, then we ended up going into the creek instead because I've gone there a few times. Besides the first time I went, I haven't really got a lot of fish there. But today we're gonna be doing some just regular old cane pole and worm. That's what we're gonna do. Just like they used to do back in, well, since forever really. So that's what we're gonna do, and hopefully we're gonna get some fish. We've seen some nice sized panfish. I am gonna put one of those hooks out with braid and probably a fatter worm on a bigger hook because I have seen a bowfin around there and I still want to get a bowfin. I've also got a new net, so if we do hook him, our chances of losing him are a little bit lower. And yeah, so we're gonna go ahead and get out there and get this trip underway. And I'll meet you guys at the water. All right guys, we have made it to the spot. We're gonna start on this side as usual. The only difference is we're using bait this time. I like this side early in the morning because it's shaded, whereas the other side, the sun's right in your face and it's a little bit hot. So we're gonna start on the side with the shade because why not? Keep our, you know, night crawlers cool and everything. So what we're gonna be starting with today is we've got these night crawlers. I bought the chartreuse ones just because they were there. So we're gonna start with that. He seems lively, so we'll start with him. And what we've got is just a float, you know, just a little float. We have a hook, but it's stuck in a stick. My hook is stuck. We have a hook, one little piece of lead, and it's a small hook. So this is the same hook that comes with the rod when you buy it. Same float, same split shot, everything, same line. I haven't had to change it out since I bought it, so I've just been using it. I normally hook mine 3 times, but I think I'm just gonna do 2. No, I'll do 3 this time. So there we go, worms on the hook, and now we're gonna get it out there. And while this just sits and floats, we'll get our other stuff rigged up. We're just gonna let it sit. I really do want to flip that float because I feel like the orange part should be the other way around, but that's the way it came from the manufacturer, so that's the way that I've left it. We're gonna let that sit and we're gonna rig up the, this is the one for the bowfin, which is just braid. I think it's 30-pound braid. I don't know why I used braid when I did this. I think it's because it was the only high poundage line I had, so I used it. So hopefully it doesn't mess things up too much. And I'd originally put this with a piece of cut bait underneath, which if we get a small bluegill, I might do that. But if we don't, then I'm just gonna fish the night crawlers on here. Another reason why I like buying the chartreuse over the Canadian night crawlers is the chartreuse, you only get, I mean the Canadian night crawlers, they're much larger, but you only get 18 worms. But they're huge, so you kind of pick your poison there. The chartreuse ones are a lot smaller. Now we've got our worm on the hook. No weight on this one. I'm gonna fish it a bit deeper than that, I think. Probably about like there. And we're just gonna get it out to where it's a bit deeper. Lay that down. Really need to get a rod holder. Oh, we're getting a bite already. Are we? No. No. Got a bite, guys. There we go. Little gill. First bite of the day, little bluegill. Very little bluegill, but a bluegill nonetheless. I don't have is my hook remover. There we go, guys, little bluegill. Not the biggest fish but we've got from here, but it's a start. If we catch another little one like that, we might use him for cut bait on the bigger rod. Looks like the water is definitely, they're down deep. Alright guys, while we wait on these two to get hits, we're gonna take just my other 12-footer that has just a jig head and a worm and see if we can convince something to eat. Just kind of vertical jig it, you know, like we would an artificial, but it not being artificial. Maybe figure out how deep it is. Let it sink all the way down. We had a bite, guys. It was a bowfin. Pulled my hook. We gonna need some heavier duty stuff. Pulled my hook. Rude, rude, rude. So we're gonna set this one up for the bottom then, because that was down really deep. At least it looked like a bowfin. It's either a bowfin or a freshwater drum. But either way, we need to put on a stronger hook than that, because that ain't gonna cut it. So we're gonna do some drop shot, I think. Alright guys, we're using the high-low setup, but we're using just a low. So we have our weight, and go up a little bit, and we have our worm with a little bit of tag, just so it has a little bit of room to wiggle. And we're gonna fish that off the bottom, and hopefully get a hold of a catfish or something. We're just gonna swing it out and fish it towards us once it reaches the bottom. I went with a heavier weight than we had before, just so I could feel the bottom a bit better. We already got something, guys. We had something. So let it sink back down. It must have had a smaller mouth because it missed the hook. Got something, guys. It's got me wrapped. Come on. It's got me wrapped on something. Now this rod's going off. Here we go, guys. We got something. Can't tell if it's a bass or a catfish. Oh, we lost it. We lost whatever this was, too. Well, they look like bowfin, but I can't tell. They have like a spinal on their back that I haven't really seen on very many bowfin. We got a really quick bite on the bottom rig, so we're gonna rig that one up first before we go back to the more traditional setup. We're gonna try this drop shot again. Hopefully we can get something to eat it. Oh my God, dude, my hands are shaking. My battery died right as I hooked into this monster. I don't know if I got any of it on camera, but I just caught my PB bass. Look at this thing. Oh my goodness. You cannot tell me. I don't care where you live, where you fish from. That right there is a monster. That's a monster bass. Oh my goodness. I cannot believe I just got that. I'm gonna take a few pictures of him and then we are going to let him go. All right guys, we are gonna let this behemoth of a bass go. I think this might be the biggest bass I've ever hooked. Unfortunately, I can't really get to the water to let him go very gently. So I'm gonna do what I can. Whew. That was a monster. That's the only fish we've caught today besides that little bluegill. And my goodness. I will take that all day long. That was insane. I thought I was snagged because I've gotten snagged past 3 times I've cast over in that section. And I thought I just hit a log again, and then I felt that started thump, thump, thump. And I was like, oh, I'm not snagged. That's a fish. And then he wrapped me around a tree stump. I don't know how much of that, if any of it, I got on camera. But my heart is pumping. Well guys, I hope you guys enjoyed today's video. I know we didn't catch much in the name of like numbers of species, but to me, that bass makes it all the worth it. I mean, that was a monster. At least for where I live, that's a monster. I don't know how it is for you people who live in Texas or other places, but for here, that's a nice sized bass, especially considering this is just on the side of the road somewhere. We lost our hook. Great. So I'm gonna go ahead and wrap this stuff up. And if you guys enjoyed the video, you know, like, comment, share, subscribe. You know, trying to get to that 500 subscriber mark, guys, and then we can start doing catch and cooks. So if that's something y'all want to see, you know, hit that button. because I definitely want to start doing them. I have a bunch of other things planned for the channel as well. I just don't want to do them now when we have less people, because, you know, then I have to do them again later, and I don't want you guys to have to watch repeats. But if you guys have any suggestions of things you'd like to see, I know a lot of you wanted me to do like a gear review on certain things and how I do my setups, especially for my Tenkara stuff. I've thought about it. It's just right now not having a place that's really my own, because I'm still staying with my parents until, well, not just my parents, but going back and forth between my parents and a couple other people's houses until I get my stuff together. I can't really pick a spot to kind of, you know. Oh, also, if y'all want to know where I got this bag, $5, Walmart, super great. Holds 2 things of worms in there. I got my tackle box, all my terminal tackle in this one little bag. Super cheap, and it's super easy to pick up. I mean, $5, it's pretty affordable. But yeah, I'm so glad I finally bought this net. I've been waiting. I've been holding out on buying a bigger net for years now, because I'm like, I don't ever catch anything that big. I never really need it. I can always just flip whatever I need. Something just came up and fed on top of the water over there, so I don't really need a net. And then after I lost that bowfin, I started really thinking about it, and that's what kind of convinced me to buy it. And I'm glad I did, because there's no way we would have got that bass over this 4-foot lip without that net. Well, anyways, guys, hope you all enjoyed, and I'll catch you on the next one. But most importantly, take it easy.